Kaizen family. Let's talk
Yeah,
about Echo.
yeah, let's talk about Echo. Well, look, Kaizen Echo is our team collaboration app. Oh,
Mm,
sorry. Kaizen Echo is our team communication app. So effectively, we
okay.
built Kaizen Echo to bring internal team communication and external communication with clients all in one platform.
Okay. Okay.
So
Okay.
traditionally, what you have is you have a team communication app like Slack that you use for your internal teams.
Mm,
But the second you need to kind of communicate with external clients, you're kind of defaulting to emails and these
okay.
messy email chains that kind of just drag on, and then
Mm,
it's hard to kind of revisit information and things just get lost. And people just don't want an external, like people don't want another communication platform just to communicate with, I guess, external clients.
mm,
And Slack doesn't do that very well at a very affordable or appropriate price point.
mm,
So we
mm,
thought, hey,
mm.
look, let's just bring everything together so that I guess businesses can kind of communicate with their internal teams and all of their internal information, while also having an easier way to bring all that internal information to the clients that they're actually working with, so things
Okay.
just don't get lost.
And then I guess integrations because it's part of the Kaizen solution. How can we go through and see? Well, can we have a working demo
Yeah,
of Echo?
definitely. Let's
Because
do
I
it.
have played around a little bit with it, and yes, having used Slack, if I may say it, it feels quite similar to Slack.
Yeah.
I don't know
So
if you like to be compared to Slack or you prefer to say, no, we're different.
no.
Let's have a
So
look.
like in the sense that look,
Okay.
the way we actually designed Echo is we wanted Echo to feel very, very similar or familiar to the tools that
Mm,
people already use. Right? Like Slack's been around for a long time. There's no real need for us to actually reinvent the user experience and cause
mm,
more friction when it currently works. It's just that aspects of Slack that isn't ideal for the general use case. So what we've
mm.
done is effectively this is our internal, I guess, Echo, I guess, workspace. And what we
Okay.
do is we split our Echo workspace into internal. So these are internal channels. External is
Hmm.
people outside of organization that we invite into our workspace so we can collaborate and communicate more effectively. And then we have other, I guess, channels where they're more like, I guess, topic specific for us.
Okay. Okay.
So we have like a internal channel for billing, we have an internal channel for like product development. So for example, Canvas, we have like upcoming things that we're going to develop in Canvas and we put that there.
Okay. Okay. Nice. Nice. And then, I mean, what does it do more than what Slack does, or does it do anything better than Slack? Or
Um, Look, I think the way we kind of think about the use case of Echo is we try to keep the external client communication in Echo more streamlined. So as a
okay,
really good example is I know I've invited you to our Kaizen Echo workspace, Richard. But
yes,
effectively, what that kind of does is, I guess, now that any time you want to communicate with me, like, so every time we now chat, right, Richard, I don't actually have to open Messenger or I don't have
yes,
to open my emails. I just kind of like go into Echo and I get a notification on my phone that says, hey, Richard has messaged you. And I can just
okay,
simply respond through my phone. Or if I'm at my desk, I could just go into like the Kaizen Echo like desktop app and I can just kind of reply to messages. So that way I'm kind of not like flipping between three different like apps just to
Uh,
communicate with people.
I mean, I think for me that's important because as soon as I go in to see something on Messenger, then I get lost on Facebook for a few minutes until I say, "Hey, hey, focus, focus." That's not why you came here. It was to annoy James about something. So yeah, I mean, I could see that that's really good. And how does it? I mean, let me tell you my use case. So
Yeah,
I'm thinking of using it with clients. So with
yeah.
my more sort of VIP clients. If I want to drop like video recordings in there, how simple is
Mm.
it? If I already have them in Flow, how simple is it to drop them into Echo? Or do I just
Yeah, that's
copy
a good.
the?
You just copy the link actually. So okay,
Okay,
so right now we're still working on building the native integration from Flow
okay,
into Echo. So that's coming. But until that comes about, you just simply copy the link that is stored
okay,
on Flow, and then you just paste it into Echo. So
okay.
like, so I guess based on your use case, I know that you are like you teach languages with
Yes.
students, right? So
Yes.
I guess the best way to kind of showcase how Echo would work for your use case is to actually kind of create what a Richard Butler private English coaching class environment
Okay.
can look like,
Okay.
right?
Perfect.
So let's try to kind of do that as a demo. So effectively,
Okay.
if I were you, right, and I was in my Echo, what I would do is I would create a channel in the external
Okay.
folder. So you would have to first create a folder. So
Okay.
effectively, what you do is when you start your Echo, you simply go to
Uh,
one of the folders and you click the three dots and you create a new folder. So let's
Now,
suppose
what's
this
what?
is,
So,
yep,
my first question: what is the difference between a folder and a channel?
yeah. So a folder is kind of what we like to think of as a category.
Okay.
So for us, we try to break our workspace into internal and
Mm-hmm.
external. So an internal folder for us is a collection of channels that is for internal use. An
Okay.
external folder is a collection of channels where we bring on external clients from outside of our workspace so we can help collaborate and communicate with ease.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. So you would recommend instead of creating a channel, I would create a folder for each client.
Yes.
And then is that folder, I mean, nobody else can see that information. I mean, because
Yes. So
so John won't be able to see Peter's files, and Peter won't be able to see John's files.
yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. No, 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 because
So
that's super important.
yeah, so let's kind of try that, right? So we basically create
Okay.
a channel folder. So we've now created the channel folder that says Richard English. So what we can
Okay.
then do is from Richard English, we can then create separate channels that live in Richard English,
Okay.
right? So let's
Okay.
suppose one of your students was called John. So
Okay.
John English level 12, right? So you
Okay.
create a channel that says English level 12. And then what you can do, right, is you could either set the channel permissions to public or private,
Okay. Okay.
right? So effectively, if it's a public channel, then other people in your team can actually see what is going on in that channel,
Okay.
right? If it's a private channel, then other people in your internal team won't be able to see what the contents of that channel is.
Okay. Perfect. Yeah.
Yeah. So this is just purely for if you have more than one person in your workspace and you have,
Okay.
let's suppose, different tutors and you want to kind of split between the students and you want some privacy.
Okay.
So
Perfect.
in I guess typical use cases, you just set it as public, and then there's advanced configuration for
Because it's
who.
not public that it can be indexed by Google or anything like that. No.
No, no, no. So this is
No.
only
Okay.
public
Perfect.
to the users or the, I guess, your internal team.
Okay. Perfect. So if you're a one-man show like
Yeah,
me, that's perfect. Okay.
yeah. So let's suppose there's additional settings that people can play around with, but that just
Okay.
involves who can send what.
Okay.
But effectively, let's suppose we create a channel called John Level 12 English.
Okay.
So effectively, now you have this channel where effectively it is a channel dedicated to John for English, right?
Okay.
And what you can see here is people who are in the channel. So in this
Okay.
case, because it's public, everyone in the internal team is, I guess, in this channel.
Okay.
But let's also just really quickly look at what happens if you create a private channel. John private. So if you create a private channel, then effectively you can only add people. So you actually add only certain people. So let's
Okay.
suppose we don't add anyone right now. What you can see is only I am now in the channel.
Okay. Okay.
Yep. So if you create a private channel, then your internal team don't get added to the channel unless they are explicitly added.
Okay. And this notification bot, what does it do? I mean, can we automate messages out and
Yeah. So we're working on more functionality for the notification bot that will allow, I guess, more customization. But for
okay.
now, the notification bot just announces when you get mentioned and any
Okay.
time when there's an event that occurs that
Okay.
requires your attention.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay, good.
So one of the cool things with, I guess, Echo is we also build in this feature called topics. And I think this is more relevant for external client communication than it is for internal client communication.
Okay.
So how that works is in the channel called John Private, you have what you call the default general channel. So you can say,
Okay.
hey, John, here's today's lesson plan, right? So that's the typical user experience that people who use Slack or any other team communication, I guess, products would be used to, right? It's
Yes.
just typing in a channel. But we take this one step further by introducing topics for each channel. So
Okay.
effectively, let's suppose your student is with you for English. So
Okay.
we can add a topic, right? So what would be a common topic, or what would be an example topic that you would kind of teach?
Let's say recording of session.
Yeah, recording of session. Great. So you can create a topic called recording of session. And what that
Okay.
does is you can then place your recordings here. So as
Okay.
part of the John private channel, you can create subtopics that
Okay.
only John can see. And then that allows you to kind of split out the different topics of communication with John.
So it's like a sub channel. Yes.
So like a
Okay.
subchannel,
Okay.
correct?
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Perfect. Perfect. And when I was playing around with this, I see if you click, for example, on the plus, that you can have polls, upload files. Uh, for example, a to-do list that comes up for everybody in the channel, does it?
Yes.
Okay.
So effectively, actually, what we should do is we should go to the Richard Butler channel,
Yeah, I
and
have my
then
phone
we
here.
can kind of see, yeah,
Uh, and of course, I actually one of the things that I like is that it's one of those progressive apps, so I can just go in here and I can
yes.
have it on my iPhone and okay.
Yeah, so as an example of what a to-do list looks like, or okay, I guess in this case, this is a poll, right? So
Yes.
effectively, when like teams or even with external clients, right, sometimes discussions require some consensus with a larger group on what we should do or how we should progress a certain decision. So you can simply throw in a poll or a to-do list into the chat and they appear in line with the conversation. So instead of having a
Okay.
separate app that goes, hey, these are the poll results, you just simply have a simple poll in the chat and everyone just, I guess, votes. And once you finish voting, everyone can
Okay.
see.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. Perfect. Who said that? Slack is better.
Oh, I
A little
wouldn't know.
bit of
I
humor
wouldn't know, Richard.
there. Luckily, it wasn't you. Luckily, it was me. Okay, and then that poll, I mean, let's say in 6 weeks, I want to reply to that. I can just, with the three little dots, I guess I can, is there a reply option? For example, a message here,
Yeah.
those three little dots. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, quote
So the
message. Okay. Ah, and reply in thread you have as well.
Yes. So what we
Okay.
like to do is so there's times where I guess people prefer to reply in the flow of the conversation, while also
Mm-hmm.
there's times where it's better to take it into a more private thread. So
Okay.
we kind of give the users the option for both.
Okay. Excellent. Okay. So very much like Slack then.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Really good. What other options did we have there with the three little dots that might be
Yeah.
useful for people?
Yeah. So
Okay.
you could add
Quote
a reaction.
message. Okay. Collapse. Okay. The view read receipts, is that something that Slack has or not? Because I've never seen that, but that's really useful to know that somebody has read your message.
Mm, I am unsure. I am
Okay.
unsure if Slack has that. Yeah.
Okay.
But
No,
I
no, but
would
that's
presume they
I
do.
mean that's useful. Okay. That's really useful. Anything else that's useful to know that we can do? What's this?
Yeah, definitely. So one of the core integrations that we have with, I guess, Kaizen Space is if you want to quickly set up a quick, I guess, video meeting, simply start a space call or
Okay.
schedule a space meeting directly from Echo. So instead of having to move outside of this platform, you could also do that by the quick action bar. But
Okay.
if you didn't want to kind of move outside the platform, there is simple tools inside of Echo that allows you to start these video meetings.
Excellent. Okay. So I guess this is really where the integration between all of the different parts, you don't have to go out to something else, then back into Slack, then here it is. And if you, for example, if you schedule a call there, and you click on the link, let's say the link that you have there, no stress, take your time. Where does that open up? Does that open up in the new browser window?
Yes, it does. So the
Okay.
way we do it is we try to keep the experience. Oh, okay. So it's more of a technical thing because by keeping it in a separate window, it gives the new space core the necessary resources to, I guess, operate at its full
Okay.
capacity. So if we
Okay.
opened it in Echo, then it would share resources with Echo in the
Okay.
browser window, and that may impact performance.
Okay. Is there any way that recordings and transcripts would automatically go into Echo?
That is something that is we're working on.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's definitely a
Okay.
feature we're working on that we want to implement into Echo, but at this point in time, it is rather manual.
Okay. Okay. So, but I can still, as we said, I can copy it into John private, and then under the topic recordings, etc.
Yeah.
Okay. Anything interesting that may be coming up apart from maybe integration? Anything else that, or I mean, it seems like a pretty complete product as it is.
So we are working on some AI agentic features. Yeah,
Mm.
so we are working on some AI agentic features, but I guess until they're unveiled, we try not to, I guess, tease
I know,
out
I know. You
features too
keep it under
early.
wraps. You keep it under wraps. Yes, yes. No, that's okay. Um, and at the moment, of course, this is on lifetime deal.
Yes. Yeah, so you can find the Kaizen Echo lifetime deal on the through the Kenmu group,
Okay, excellent.
Kenmu
And
Facebook
with
group.
the yes, and with the external users or external people that I invite, how many can I invite?
Yeah,
Can I
so
have? I mean, is it just 10 people that I can invite, or?
no, actually. So we actually try to, okay, so this is where we've tried to subvert the Slack model, where Slack
Mhm.
has effectively every new external user you kind of invite to your workspace, they charge you as one separate user per month.
Okay,
So for
okay.
us, if you buy our lifetime deal, you get a set amount of users and unlimited external users.
Okay, I mean that's really good. I
Yeah.
mean for me, I'm thinking that's perfect because I mean all of my users would be external on it. Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
because
okay.
look, external users, they can't create new channels, they can't create, I guess, things in the workspace. So that prevents them from, I guess, having too many permissions that could
Mm,
change your company's workspace. But
mm.
they can kind of interact with all of the channels that you give them access to. And I think for us, it's like that is a feature that I think everyone should have.
The difficult question that I'll ask, and I always like to ask people. I mean, does something like this cost you a lot in resources? I mean, is it sustainable as a lifetime deal, or is it something
Yeah,
that I mean, it's not that expensive to run?
yeah, look, I think this is probably one of our cheaper products to service,
Okay.
in the sense that because a lot of the products are static,
Mm,
like in terms of when you send a message, right? It's the volume of data that is being transmitted through servers to send that message is not very high. So effectively,
okay.
it's quite a reasonably cheap product to sustain and operate. And effectively, anything that is integrated, for example, flow or space, they take up, I guess, or they correspond with your respective tier or
Hmm.
respective license of those products. So
Okay.
if you already have like a premium plan for, I guess, space, then instead of the usual 2 hours that you'd get from a free space, you can take
Mm,
advantage of the 24 hours meeting time
mm,
by starting a
mm.
space call.
Okay. Okay. Excellent. No, no, because of course that's a question that everybody has. How can this be sustainable? But I guess you're right. Something like this, I mean, it could be static, and since people aren't going to be creating lots of channels, etc., it's not that it's taking up, from what I know, a lot of resources, etc. Okay,
Yeah, so
excellent.
look, the bandwidth would be significantly less than a product like Space, where it's video meetings and
Mm.
it's live. And in terms of like storage, so whenever people upload data onto Echo, for example, images, PDFs, etc., they just go into your flow storage that is tied to the workspace.
Perfect, perfect.
Yeah.
So yeah, so this is on LTD at the moment. You had solutions as well. You've also had flow.
Yep. So we've had
What's
Space
next?
as an LTD, which we
Yes,
launched first, and then we launched Flow as an LTD, and now we're launching
yes.
Kaizen Echo as an LTD.
Excellent, excellent. Pretty good products, I have to say. But the other question, of course, is they will continue to be developed and to be improved.
Yeah. So these are, well, look, these are our consumer products that we want
Yes.
people, as many people to use and love as possible. So,
Okay.
like, I guess our promise to our users is we're going to continue developing these so that people love our products and want to talk about them and share them. Because the more people who
Mm.
use our products, the more people who talk about our products, the better it is for our business. So,
Yes, and I mean, I've been using a space for the last 2 weeks probably, and absolutely no issues. The only issues that I've had would be the issues when people have slow bandwidth on their end, which happens with Zoom as well. But what I found is that even though the video may pause for a second, the audio keeps going, and
yeah.
it's really good. I think that's it, James. I do apologize for the. Oh, is that new? Turn on captions. Is that new?
No, it's not new actually. But
Ah, I never
it
saw
has
that.
been around for a while. But yes, it will work.
Okay.
It
Ah,
will work in
that's
quite a few
excellent.
languages. Yeah.
Okay. I hadn't actually seen that before. That also really helps. Does that come out on the video as well? On the recording?
Yes, it does. So if you're recording, yes, it does.
Okay. Okay, that's I mean an even better thing as well, because I mean that's really, really good. And as somebody who coaches people in language, that can really help. I can see that. And
Yeah.
it's really fast and really accurate.
Yeah, we try. Like, we try to keep, like, look, I think in terms of a lot of our products, right? Like, we try to benchmark against the market itself. And
Mhm.
not to name any competitors, but like we look at what our competitors are doing and we say, okay, well, what are the features that I guess other users are finding valuable? And we try to match or exceed the performance with features that are highly used or regularly used. And that's,
Okay.
I guess, what like our philosophy.
Okay. No, and that's fantastic. I don't know how I never saw that captions, and I'm reading it now as you're talking, and I'm reading it as I'm talking, and it's really good. Go James, go James. Let's see if it yes, it comes up. It says go James, go James. Very good. James, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you very
Yeah,
much for your
look, thank
time.
you.
I know it's late over there, and I'm sure we'll talk again soon.
Yeah, look, thank you for having me again, Richard.
No, brilliant. No, that was really good, James.